Willie Wonka's magic turned out to be tragic. This chocolate factory was unsatisfactory. Outrage in Glasgow. Glasgow? Glasgow?
Glasgow sounds good.
Okay, Scotland. Tonight, after families paid $44 a ticket to what they thought was going to be an out-of-this-world Willy Wonka experience. But it was anything but. Now, Willy Wonka's chocolate experience had billed itself as a fantasy like never before, where you can capture the enchantment. But trust me, when someone promises a fantasy like never before, don't you buy it. I'm still healing from Kudlow's slip and slide party. There was no slip and slide, just a jar of KY.
Okay.
Oh, yes. It was also supposed to be featuring an enchanted garden with giant sweets and vibrant blooms and magical surprises, which is the same language Kilmeade uses to get people into his van. They also promoted their imagination lab with mind-expanding projections and optical marvels and a twilight tunnel with enigmatic sounds in a dimly lit passage, which reminds me I'm overdue for a colonoscopy. But there was none of that. Instead, they got a dingy warehouse. Look at that. Looks more like a molester hideaway, not a chocolate factory.
Okay.
This place is so seedy, even Cat won't stay there for longer than 6 months. Seriously, look at that. That place isn't even suitable enough to house migrants. I've seen crack dens that have more ambiance. Just a few crappy props and absolutely no candy-coated magic whatsoever. And there's an anemic rainbow, some dime store wall art, a few candy canes and lollipops and some toadstools. Not an Oompa Loompa in sight. Well, except for this sad-looking, orange-faced little person. She's not even a little person. And what's she cooking, meth? I'm not sure. I don't think those are bonbons in those beakers. Anyway, the entire thing was shut down, and the company behind the candy con apologized and promised full refunds. But it was so bad, apparently, that these Scottish parents actually called the cops. I believe we have that 911 tape.
911, what's your emergency? Yeah, I'm at the Willy Wonka chocolate experience and it's absolute Where are the gobstoppers? There's no bloody gobstoppers. I'm freaking out. Sir, calm down. How can I stay calm when there's a complete lack of tail-tufted Oompa Loompas giving life lessons in the form of song? I paid £35 for this. I expect there to be a freaking elevator that goes sideways and slantways and longways and backways and squareways, sir, and frontways and any other ways I can think of. This isn't really a police matter. The chocolate river aren't even a wee bit edible. Pretty sure it's literal crap. These people should be behind bars. Wonka bars, maybe. You have some. Are they scrumdiddlyumptious? Please. It was a joke. Oh, piss off, you daft kid. Stop.
Hey.
Don't come back.
Nicholas, you have kids. Is there any lesson here for parents?
I wish I could have taken my kids to this. I mean, the life lessons in this, for such a cheap price, you get to teach them about disappointment.
Yes.
That, you know, in life, expectations don't match reality, and they have to handle real-world situations. They also get the lesson on the buyer beware. So I look at the positivity of this as opposed to the negativity. And let's face it today, the parents, they coddle their children too much. We've all been to these horrible events that we have to bring our kids through. We have to suffer through it. So why can't we take our kids to an event where they have to be disappointed? I think this works all around.
Yes. Crush their innocence.
Exactly.
You know,
and I do have an experience with the Polar Express ride that I paid a lot of money for that didn't match expectations.
So the train show?
Yes.
I paid for that.
Yeah.
I was mad as sitting in that train. We had already read the book at home.
Yep.
I was like, yeah, my kids are having a good time because I raised them poor. So
This is stupid. That's what I got from my
that's
kids.
the thing, man. I'm going. I would have took my kids to this. They would have had a blast. Like, Daddy, look, rainbow. Go, run. Bring me. They would have tore it up. Like, go. Daddy's gonna go outside and smoke.
doesn't it look like a really bad art museum?
No, it looks like events that we have to go to when I grew up poor and broke. We went to the fair, and then you went in and you paid the extra money to go see the headless cow that was jumping and frolicking in the poster. And it's in a jar. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The two-headed baby, the mermaid thing that clearly was so like we're just watching all this, and there was like they had one really huge. But by today's standards, she's not that big anymore. But back in the day, now she'd have to get 2 jobs. She got to be the big girl and a bearded lady. And it was a guy walking around who said he was the world's strongest man, but I was bigger than him. So I was like, I don't believe this guy. You know, and then you had a guy who was like, they lift up the curtain and they're like, look, crackhead.
Yes, they did.
Drooling, and unfortunately, Greg stayed around a little too long and went and investigated and saw the crackhead had smoking cigarettes, which then led to why that monologue made so much sense. You got a lot out.
Yeah.
That was Greg's childhood in between the stuff, guys, all that stuff that was being said. So I hope that guy got, you know, you can find that crazy man in
the side. Yeah, it was the Allentown County Fair sideshow, and they would have a guy who's, this is what happens when you're on drugs, and I caught him on a smoke break, and he was absolutely normal.
Did you ask for a refund?
Yes, it was $2.50. Jamie, you're used to disappointing children.
Yeah. I think you made a great point that kind of got missed a moment ago, that they could have just pretended this was a modern art exhibit.
Yes.
Right? Because you can't mock
art.
You would just have to go like, oh, they should have changed it. And I'm with everyone else on the panel so far. I don't mind this at all because I judge every experience with my children as like, how long is this gonna take? Do you know what I mean? Like if we walk in somewhere and they go, I love it here, I'm like, oh no, it's gonna be hours. This, we're talking like a minute or less. We're gonna be in and out. And I would have just claimed if I was in charge of this, I would have been like, no, this is based on the Willie Wonka movie.
Yes.
The Tim Burton one.
They should have changed it, the movie and said, no, this is some other movie. Or they could have said, like, this is a medical exhibit. You're inside a giant stomach.
That's starving.
No, I disagree with everyone. I'm on these parents' side. First of all, this happened in Scotland. So if you like grow up in a culture where you have to put on a plaid skirt and stockings just to play your instrument, I feel like you might be a little sensitive to people not committing to the bit.
Your Twitter's going to be ugly tonight.
And then also, speaking of Twitter, I saw this video on Twitter that changed my mind. I think we have it. Can we pull this up? This is unbelievable.
What is that? It's the end dog. What is that? It's the end dog.
Makes chocolate and lives in the walls. Okay? So I see that, and I realized these people weren't just disappointed. They might have actually thought they were going to die.
Yeah.
Like, you buy something to a holographic experience, you're in this empty warehouse with, like, this thing that's coming out and lunging at your children. You're not gonna, I mean, this is, like, that was unnecessary.
They should turn this into, like, you know what, a movie that's so bad it's good.
They made it worse.
This could be a hit. The worst traveling show ever.
I believe the working actor described it as, this is where dreams go to die.
All right, we got to move on.